Alright guys, I got a treat for you now. You just basically watched the entire garage products bushings install. Got every one of those in there, and I really just wanted to finish off these A-arms, just make sure that this is basically something that I probably will never have to readdress again. So I went ahead and ordered a set of LMUTV ball joints. I know there's a couple different manufacturers out there making a really high grade ball joint, and I have to say, first looks, I am really impressed with these. I mean, they feel good. I mean, when you lift up one of these and hand one of these in your hand compared to one of these, I mean, a little heavier, built a little better, a lot better materials used to make these. Yeah, really happy with these. And I did opt for the extra caps. When you order these, you do not have to get these caps if you don't want to. Basically, it's just there to kind of cover everything up. There is an O-ring. Focus. There's an O-ring right there in the opening of the cap for the greaser. Basically, when you thread that down on there, is going to compress around the base of this and then make that like a sealed situation, so you're not getting any extra water, dirt, debris, whatever inside there, to just keep that nice and clean. But like I said, you do not have to get those. I just like the look of it, and just decided to do it, so that's what I did. These ball joints are threaded in, so a little different than the OEMs. So yeah, you're basically going to put that through your bore, press these in, get that pressed in, and then you're going to lock these down with this lock nut right here. So pretty cool, very smooth, feels really good. These will come pre-greased. You're definitely going to want to make sure you maintain that throughout the life of them, so just keep them packed with a good CV grease, and hey, should be good to go for the life of your machine, and as long as you actually have these. So pretty cool, very nice product. Looking forward to running those and seeing how they work long term. One thing to note on Turbo S, so as I was putting this in, there is something I want to bring to you guys' attention, and this was not mentioned on their website, and this is why I called LMUTV. Actually, I called them for two things, and you know, they gave me an explanation of why it's the way it is, and gave me a couple options, and you know, I just ended up taking the option that was put on myself and making it easier, because I just really wanted to get these things installed and finished up. But I'm hoping you guys can see this. If you see, okay, right here, where typically you see maybe a 90-degree angle, where this would cap and set down flush, where these are going to press in. Oh my, sorry about that. So usually when you push these, when you press these down in there, this flat is going to sit flat on your A-arm, okay? When I pressed mine in there, I was seeing a little bit of a gap in between right here and my A-arm, and obviously I don't want that, because I want these things to be as solid as they can be. Obviously really good pressure against the sides there, but I didn't want any kind of movement up top. So I called them and say, hey, you know, did I get the right one? Is there something wrong here? They're not fitting down all the way. And upon further inspection, I noticed that there's this little tiny taper. Let me grab this. So you might be able to see it. I'll run this down it and you'll tell. See, there's a taper right there. So there's a little angle to it. So when I pressed this in, this was stopping right here, not here. And obviously didn't want that to be happening. So called them. They offered to actually make me new bodies for the Turbo S. And you know, I said, nah, it's not necessary. And they want that taper in there, just to give it a little bit more strength. And I guess typically aftermarket A-arms, some other A-arms, you know, there's a little dip in here, and obviously that angle would fit in there, be no problem. So not the case on the OEM Turbo S A-arms. So basically what I have decided to do, and that's what I did on this one right here, I basically took this A-arm, I flipped it over, and got my big old taper bit that I got right here, and basically ran that thing in there and spun it around until I put a little bit of a taper right around the lip right here. Nothing too crazy, nothing big, just enough to get that little tiny angle on there to set flush inside there. So just wanted to make sure you guys are aware of that. If you're getting these for a Turbo S, maybe some other applications, not 100% sure on all the models that this might be same situation for, but you are going to have to put a little taper in there to get these to sit flat. The other thing, when I had this in there, so I had this pressed down in there like so. This is down. Oh shit, hold on a minute. Alright, so I had this in here. Obviously, when this is pressed in all the way, this comes up a little higher. So, when you have that in there, what you're going to do is, you're going to put your lock nut on there. See if I can do this one-handed. Bear with me here. Alright, let me put this down for just a second. Alright, there we go. Alright, so what's going to happen is when you have this thing pressed inside the bore of your A-arm, and then you go to spin this down, lock this thing in place, it's obviously not going to go down as far as the threads are cut into this body. On the Turbo S, it's going to stop about right here. So you don't have as many threads exposed there for your cap. Well, what happens is when you go to put your cap on, like so, the O-ring that they supplied with the cap just didn't squeeze around the greaser. So, you know, the whole purpose of the cap is to protect everything in there, keep water out of there, moisture, dirt, whatever. You know, I didn't want a gap in there. So what I did is, and actually, talking to the guys at LMUTV, like I said, they offered to send me new O-rings, which they did, and they're probably in the mail. But like I said, I'm kind of in a rush to get this thing done, so I just ran over to Lowe's, bought a pack of O-rings, and if you can tell, this one here is the one they sent with the caps. These are the ones I bought. So if you guys want to know, it's number 31 O-ring. So basically, I'm going to take this out here, pop that out, put this big fat McNasty in there, and now I'm going to thread that on there with that O-ring. And then what that's going to do is that's basically going to be thick enough so that when you press, when you tighten that lid or that cover down, you're going to have, so you can see that O-ring back there behind that greaser. It's completely sealed. So yeah, wanted to make sure you guys were aware of that. Just a couple things to keep in mind if you guys are going ahead and ordering a set of LMUTV ball joints for stock A-arms on a Turbo S. So yeah, that's what I've experienced with them. But like I said, it's not shying me away from them. I think they're still probably a great product, and time will tell. I don't want to tell you guys that they're amazing and they're awesome, and I'm just telling you what they feel like firsthand, first glance. And those are the issues I'm having while installing it, which isn't that big a deal. Really, it's not that big a deal. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish this up, get these pressed in, and maybe I'll show you a couple clips of me drilling out that angle on that bore, and then you know, inserting these in. And yeah, once I get all four done, I'm gonna get these things installed and keep on rocking. I'm ready to get Gunner back on its wheels, ready to get it back off the jacks, and just ready to ride that thing, man. I'm tired of looking at that thing jacked up over there. So yeah, I'm gonna finish this up, and I'll get with you guys when it's done. Make sure, you know, you're not heavy to one side more than another. Just get comfortable and stay really nice and equal around this, and just start spinning. And then just check it. Like I said, I don't know if you can see that well on here. Maybe I'll switch to the big camera here in a second just to make sure. Alright, so you just watched that on the GoPro as I did that, and I think this camera will focus in a little better. You see that little angle I put on there around the bore? And just a little one, nothing too crazy, just enough to get that ball joint to sit flat. So that's it, super simple. There you go, guys. And then also, just to let you guys know, on the lock nut, when I get that thing in there and tighten down, I'm definitely going to use red Loctite on there just to make sure that thing does not back up one bit. And then obviously I'm going to grease these things periodically, so I'm going to use blue Loctite when it comes to the cap. So that's that. Like I said, I'm going to get these done and start getting these A-arms put back on Gunner and start finishing this project. So very cool. Hope you guys like it. Not really sure if there's any more information I really need to tell you on these. But yeah, that's LMUTV ball joints. Great products. As far as from what I hear, I imagine they're going to be great products. I will run these things for as long as I have the machine, and then maybe, you know, after a few hundred miles, maybe a few thousand miles, couple thousand miles, I'll do another little review. But hey, if you guys like the video, please give it a like. You know, let us know that you like these informational videos on some of this stuff that we're doing to the machines. You know, it's a good indicator if we should keep doing that or not. I like bringing this stuff to you guys because if it can help you, then you know what, it's worth it to me. Other than that, yeah. Please subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. I want to say thanks to everybody that has subscribed. We've been gaining quite a few subscribers lately, and we do appreciate it very much. And share the video with your friends if you have any. Hopefully you do. And other than that, we'll see you on the next one. So thank you guys so much. We'll see you soon. One other thing I just wanted to mention that I just did. I just greased my wheel bearings. So if you guys don't have one of these, get yourself one. They're not that expensive, and it's just a super easy tool. This is actually the first time I've greased my wheel bearings, and it was simple. Basically all I did was you take this thing, you got to make sure this is a 44 millimeter. Yep. So it'll say when you order it, it's probably not going to focus. Yeah, whatever. Trust me, it's 44 millimeter, fits all Turbo S wheel bearings, but you're basically going to slide that thing right inside here. You're going to slide that thing right in there, stick your grease gun on there, and pump that thing 12 to 16 times. Don't go too crazy. Like I said, this is the first time I've done it, so I just packed it in there a little bit. And there's a groove, well, there's a rubber O-ring on both sides of this freaking groove right here. So basically that groove lines up with the center of those two, and as you pump that in, it just basically feeds grease inside that gap there. So do that. Super easy. I think this thing was like 20-25 bucks or something like that. Well worth it. Peace of mind. So yeah, just wanted to make a note on that, and I'm gonna wrap this thing up. So thanks again, guys. Appreciate you, and until next time.